Everyone, I'm Fred Childers. Thanks for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Politics on your local election headquarters. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get started. Amid the government shutdown, state lawmakers are scrambling to make sure the most vulnerable in our state will not go hungry. Louisiana First News reporter Michelle Masson has the latest on how our lawmakers voted to fund this effort.
Louisiana lawmakers approving a proposal to use $150 million in state funds for SNAP benefits as the federal government shutdown continues.
We all know that this is in part, political theater, right? And these shutdowns have occurred on and off over the year, and everybody stands off in a game of chicken. But ultimately, the government opens back up, which is going to happen.
Resolutions have now made it favorably through our state's House and Senate, allowing the Louisiana Department of Health to use funds to pay for food assistance or SNAP benefits. The move was approved in a 97-0 vote in the House last week and has now been approved by our state's Senate in a 32-1 vote.
Because the people of Louisiana have a few days before it's determined whether they can feed their children, whether seniors can have enough money to buy medication or food, which has always been the choice.
Governor Landry introduced the move after declaring a state of emergency, as lawmakers were already at the state capitol for the special session. Before the vote, some lawmakers voiced their frustration with the federal government calling the shutdown outrageous.
I am going to vote for this, but I do think it's outrageous that the federal government is holding food money hostage over political games that they are playing.
Louisiana SNAP recipients had previously been warned no new benefits would be available for them in November, potentially affecting nearly 800,000 people that rely on the service. Michelle Masson, Louisiana First News.
And after the resolution for our state to fund SNAP passed, the state Senate also passed a measure calling on Congress to reimburse our state for any funds used to sustain the federal SNAP program.
Well, I mean, look, Louisiana is probably the most generous state. We love each other. We believe in God. We appreciate the blessings that he's given us. And right now he's given us an opportunity to take care of those people during Thanksgiving.
And that's obviously Governor Jeff Landry made an appearance in the Louisiana First News studio Thursday morning. By the way, that's this studio, claiming people in need will get the state's help in November as the federal government shutdown threatens SNAP. First Lady Sharon Landry also announcing her One Love Louisiana Foundation and FMOL will donate $200,000 combined to food banks. Landry says more than 50,000 people still won't have their benefits reloaded, and food banks will need to fill that void. He continues to say people who can work should.
We've got great economic opportunity. We spoke about all of the jobs earlier that are available in the state of Louisiana and that are just available to people. If they would just take a look, there are some great paying jobs that would help them go from dependence to independence. But yes, long term, this is not sustainable.
Now, the state says about 6% of SNAP recipients are able-bodied adults. More than 790,000 Louisianans received SNAP benefits last month. And we'll hear more from the governor in a moment. But first, some Baton Rouge businesses are stepping up to help people concerned about their next meal. Louisiana First News reporter Ethan Good takes us to a coffee shop serving more than the brews.
Across Baton Rouge, small businesses and nonprofits are stepping up as changes to SNAP benefits continue to strain families. One local coffee shop is finding its own way to make a difference.
It's kind of frustrating because business owners, it makes it harder for us because we don't get to deal with as many customers.
Manning Bergeron owns House Brew Coffee. He says while the drop in SNAP assistance affects local business sales, it also highlights a deeper need in the community. Starting November 1st, his shop will give away free peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with no questions asked.
As a business in Baton Rouge, it's really important to support our community and be in that position to uphold the values that we see that are important. And our government and our legislation should always reflect that.
While local businesses like House Brew are stepping up, organizations like the Baton Rouge Food Bank says every dollar counts.
The biggest thing the community can do for us is give us money, because we can do so much more with a dollar. We have access to national markets where we can bring food in at tremendously lower prices than you find in the grocery store.
Even as demand rises, the food bank says they'll continue to serve anyone who needs help, one meal at a time.
We'll do the best we can with as much as we can for as long as we can. And that's the key. That's what we do for a living.
Reporting for Louisiana First News, I'm Ethan Good.
And Bergeron tells us he plans to keep serving free sandwiches as long as there's a need. During that same interview, the governor talked about the stability of the funding for SNAP. That's important. This comes as no new federal food assistance was expected on November 1st due to the ongoing government shutdown. Landry noted that about 53,000 people will not have their SNAP benefits reloaded and will need to rely on local food banks for assistance.
If they don't reach a compromise, it's not sustainable in the long run. That's exactly why the donations from Sharon's Foundation and from FMOL are so important today, and why you probably see us going out and asking those that are most fortunate if they'll donate more. They can donate directly to their food banks, or they can work through Sharon's Foundation. It's a C3 tax-deductible foundation. Because it's not going to be long-term sustainable. It costs the state of Louisiana about $147 million a month to fill all of those EBT cards and to run the food stamp program in Louisiana.
And all this comes after Governor Landry declared a state of emergency because of the pause in those SNAP benefits. Protesters take to the Capitol steps to speak out against what they call voting rights violations as the U.S. Supreme Court is set to make a decision on the state's redistricting case.